My name is Jesse A. Davis.
All right.
My mama called me Jesse Allen Davis.
Jesse Allen. Jesse Allen. All right. So, Pop, let me tell you real quick. How old are you?
I'm 69.
You'll be 70 next year, right?
Yeah, February 20th.
All right. So you are right now. You're retired, right?
Yes.
What did you do before like retirement?
I worked 28 different jobs.
Okay. What was one of the jobs you worked at? You worked at
Federal Reserve Bank for 43 years.
You did security.
I did accounting. I did records keeping for the bank.
Okay.
For the for the 4th district, which is Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus.
Wait a second. You got it. There you go. I think you got it. You got it.
Yeah. Bank, the Federal Reserve Bank, I did Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Cincinnati.
Okay.
The record keeping, I was over all that.
Okay, so you had that. And so did you served in the military, right? Army, Marine? Army. How many years?
It was going on 3 years.
3 years. Now, what did you do? Like, how did you get in the Army? Like, you just went and you joined, like, the reserve? What happened?
I was robbed. They called me and said you had to fill out military information. And I went there downtown, and the next thing they told me, you're going to be leaving from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So it wasn't like I had able to go home and get me some underwears and drawers and all that kind of stuff. So they gave me three hours to go home and tell everybody I'm going to the military.
So wait, so they just called you?
They sent a letter and went down, but the letter was just to fill out information. It wasn't to say you're gonna go in. It was just they were saying, hey, you're gonna fill out your information and stuff like that. So I thought I'd fill it out, then they call me. They said that wasn't happening.
So you went down, they was like, all right, you got 3 hours.
You got to go home, get your stuff. You on your way to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
All right. Now, you got drafted, and so you went from Cleveland
to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
How long that was basic training? How long was that?
Basic training. I guess about 3 months.
Now, what year were you drafted? Like, what year was that?
It was 70.
1970?
Yeah.
So, were you, like, involved or close to, like, any wars or anything like that?
Well, the Vietnam War was starting up. It was already going up. And people was being killed. So they started wanting to protect that area. Stuff like that. So that was the biggest thing. Some people were protesting the Vietnam War. They think it was a war that meant anything, and then they were saying they needed people. And the brother had to go.
Man. And how long? Like, so that's from Cleveland to they trained you for the war?
No, they trained me for basic training in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
And then Vietnam, the war was going on already.
Yeah, that was going on. They was getting you ready. And then they had to decide what you was going to do in the military.
So what did you do?
Well, I thought that I had a accounting background, and I knew I could cook. So I figured they was going to do one of them. But they made a mistake. They gave me a gun and said, you're going to be an MP.
Now, what's an MP?
Military police.
Military police.
No, just police. And then they sent me to investigator school. So where you may see somebody have a sergeant stripe, I don't have that. I was to take care of my stripes where I don't have a regular stripe. Excuse me. So I had to. I went to school for that. I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia.
After basic training?
Basic training, they sent me to Fort Gordon, Georgia. That was military school. and everything else. And then they was going to, at the time, we were thinking about, I thought about the jumping out of planes, but I only had that
Was
for
it
like
paratroopers?
paratrooper, because the paratroopers would come into the MP station, and all the uniforms were tight. They did their uniform, they was real tight. They would come in, they said, look at me. You know, we come in there and they said, hey, yo, you want to be air, you know. And I said, no. Then I said, well, yeah, why not? And I went there for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I went to Fort Braggs. And when I went to Fort Braggs, they had the school there. And you had to go through these walls and these towers. And you start with a 50-foot tower. Then you go with a 75, then you do 100. And you would jump and you learn how to roll over, how to paratrooper school and stuff like that. And when they got to that 100-foot tower, I learned how to roll over and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. But when you stand up there and you stood like you 100 foot from the ground, it didn't feel the same way. And I started thinking about, if I was in a plane, what the hell would happen? So I rolled over, bust my lip right in there. And once I got up and everything, the drill sergeant said, you all right? I said, I'm okay. I went back to the thing and told him, I want to go back to MP school. I ain't jumping on no damn plane.
No planes view.
Yeah.
All right. So when you was over there, like, what was your first encounter with like war? Like, you know, you had to use your gun. Like, what was your first encounter with that?
I had that in Europe. But first thing I did is I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana, getting us ready to go to Vietnam. That's where you work in with the swamps area out there. You crawl over things. There were snakes there. They was getting us ready, our unit, to do that. MPs provided service for Marines, and we did prisoners of war. That was MP's primary two duties, prisoners of war and to providing security for the Marines. You know, so on our stats you see Screaming Eagle, that was a Marine Screaming Eagle, and we fell under that 67 MP detachment. So we were getting ready for that. And we had about 6 weeks more to get ready to go to Vietnam. And the unit in Vietnam got wiped out. So they didn't think that we were ready to go, because we needed to have 6 more weeks for Vietnam. They took a unit from Europe and sent them to Vietnam, and then sent us to Europe.
And so like,
that's the only reason. It was like a 3-week, maybe 4 or 5 week difference, maybe 6, I think they said. And they thought we was ready. They wanted to get a unit that was ready.